Hello and welcome to the channel. I hope you're all well. Today we're going to tie a dry fly, which is coming into its own at this time of the year. It's one of the few flies that are still hatching on the rivers, and it is a midge pattern, and this is the balloon midge. Now I'll give you the materials. I'm going to be tying with a black thread, and this is 12/0. For the body, I'm going to be using fine beaver hair, and it has to be a fine dubbing. For the rib, I'm going to be using some hen's crystal flash 233. And for the wing, I'm going to use some Doug Swisher Fentex, which is a winging material or post material, and I'm going to use that for the wing on this particular fly. Okay, let's start the tying. In the vise, I have a size 18 hook, so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to start it a couple of mil behind the eye and wind down towards the bend of the hook and trim off the excess thread. Right. Don't go too far around the bend or anything like that. And now I'm going to tie in the rib. I've cut off a piece of the crystal flash. And I'm going to tie that in, like so. Now, the body is not too thick. It has to be quite a fine body, and that's why the dubbing needs to be fine. Now, to be fair, if you want to tie this just with thread, then fine, go ahead. But as I say, this is a very fine dubbing, and it allows me to put on a very thin noodle. Don't worry about the guard hairs if you're using this type of dubbing. We can always trim those off afterwards. Let me see if that's enough, and we'll wind that on. Some of that will be taken down by the ribbing. Just a little bit more, I think. See how we get on with that piece. Like so. And then wind on the dubbing. Now, with all 233, don't forget there is a darker side and a greener side. So we need to have the green side showing as the ribbing. Just gently wind up the ribbing till you get to the thorax and tie it off. Get rid of that guard here and trim up the excess rib. Now this Fentex is just a floating material. You can use whatever you like. This is what I'm going to use. Just cut a piece off. Now this is going to be quite thick, and I don't need all of those strands on this fly. So I'm just going to trim up the end for tying in. And this is a bit of pinch and loop. So I'll pull that back to behind the eye, gently does it. Like so. And then fold it over into the bubble. Now the size of the bubble is entirely up to you, because you want this to float. So let's see what this looks like. Looks about right. And trim up the excess. And I'm going to tie down the wing material. Now this is optional. You don't have to do this, but I like to have just a little bit of a head at the front. So I'm going to put on a little bit more of the dubbing, because this is essentially almost as if it's emerging. So the back end will drop down into the water and the front will be on the surface. Now I'm going to use a half-hitch tool to finish this off. I'm going to trim up the thread. Just going to make sure that there's nothing covering the eye. There we go. And this will act as the wing and the support. Now you will need to put something else on this. Now I use this at the bench. It's Loon fly dip. It's just something I use. I'm not paid by Loon or any sponsor, but that's what I use. I dip it there while I'm at the vise, so it's ready to go. And this will float, not like a cork. It's not big enough to be a cork. It's a great little midge pattern, and I'm sure it will serve you well. Hope you enjoyed the tying. Very quick tying, a simple tying, but very effective. If you're not a subscriber, hit the bell, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for viewing. Bye.